Brilliant. Okay, so I'm Naomi Johnson. I'm the head training consultant at Really Connect, and today I have with me my esteemed colleague Bert Verdonk, author of How to Really Use LinkedIn and our master trainer. You've met with Michael Clark previously on other webinars. Today we have the guru master himself. Nice to have you with us, Bert. How are you?
Good, very good. And I hope everyone is well as well, because it's an exciting webinar, this one, about company profiles.
It is. How to create a company profile that gets you noticed and followed. So without further ado, I guess we will just jump straight in.
Yes, thank you, Naomi. So welcome, everyone. And you've probably heard or at least read the book or part of the book anyway. So this is the fifth webinar in the series. So this one is how to create, indeed, a company profile that gets you noticed and followed. If you haven't seen or listened to the other webinars yet, please make sure you sign up for it, because you can listen to the recordings. And the next one will be about how to leverage LinkedIn recruiter seats by engaging the entire enterprise. But that's for next time. Today is about the company profile. And maybe, Naomi, a little bit of a background about who we are?
Yep, who we are. We've worked with over 450, lots and lots now, of businesses helping with their LinkedIn strategies. This is my colleague, and you can see there some of the companies we've worked for, some big names that you would have definitely come across. And obviously you've met Mike Clark before. He's one of our trainers, our managing director. He's been providing sales and LinkedIn training for some really big companies like Oracle, IBM, Siemens, and Voucher. And Bert, who you're just about to meet, author of 6 books, and has trained all of those wonderful companies I just mentioned. And he really is a LinkedIn expert and a creative life hacker. So we might cover that later in the session, what a life hacker is, but we won't cover it today. So if you need to know, I should go Google it. And then this is myself, as I said, head training consultant at Really LinkedIn, Really Connect, and yeah, just really helping people with their strategies. And I'm also the author of Grassroots to Green Shoots as well, which is about getting your business started. And so, yeah, without further ado, why should somebody have a company page?
Well, there's a number of reasons, as you can see on the screen. And the first one is to present a professional image. And I'm sure we talked about, having a personal profile first, how important it is to have first impressions. By the way, folks, if you have any questions, please use the chat function so we can pick them up during this live session. If you're listening to the recording and you do have questions, please get in touch with Naomi as well. She'd be happy to answer them, all of them, for you. So again, it has to do with creating first impressions and presenting a professional image about who you are and what your company stands for. And even if you're a one-man band or one-women band, I must say, it is important to have a company page. Also, one of the things that a lot of people underestimate is that you don't know where people are coming from. Are they just searching in company pages? Are they coming through the general search on LinkedIn? Are they coming through Google or Bing or any of the other search engines? So you don't know where people are coming from. And that's why it is important to not choose, shall I do this or shall I do that? No, it is I do one and I do two. So that's why you need to have a personal profile and a company profile. Of course, next to having a professional image, it's important to future scaling of the business as well. If you are growing your business, and even if you are a one-man or one-woman band today, when you want to scale up the business, let's say you're a coach or a consultant, and you want to be working with more people in your team, well, it makes more sense to start right off with a company page, having that, and to create a employer brand or a professional brand, not just about you as a person, but as a business in general. Of course, an additional visual understanding, or let's say a support that you get, is when you put the logo of your company page on everyone's profiles. Even if you're just 3 or 5 or 10 people in your organization, is every time your logo becomes visible on everyone's personal profiles. Now, some of you are working for let's say, a mid-sized or a big organization and working in different locations. Well, it can be interesting to coordinate different locations and services in a brand onto one company page or in different company pages, and also based on, as we will see later on, affiliated company pages and showcase pages. But it is important to put your brand out there. Of course, one of the top functionalities that you can get with a company page is that you can start creating a following. And the followers can be segmented by sharing targeted updates to them. And so that's why I really, really like it. I always say it's like a wet dream for marketeers, because in the old days you were just broadcasting to other people, and this way you now are, let's say, you become capable of segmenting the people who are sharing an interest with you, saying, hey, I want to be knowing more about who you are as a company or this and this service. You'd be able to target them depending on their region and so on and so on. But again, I'll be showing that in detail later on. Another element, why you should have a company page, and that's what we at Really Connect help our customers with, is communicating on your prospect's schedule and not yours. So one of the things that you would do is that you invite people to look at the content that you've been updating at their own pace, but make sure that always have a call to action into every piece of information, because then they will take the next step. And the next step could be getting in touch with you as a company, going to your website, going to another blog or another place on the internet to take that next step. Increasing awareness of the company is also listed here. Why is that? Well, you know, sometimes people, they hear about you, but they don't hear enough about you. And so by making sure that people are following your company, you are making sure that they see your name, or let's say your company name, popping up once in a while. So that's where your awareness, or their awareness of you, is becoming more and more increasingly important. And that's a way to become top of mind with potential customers. Creating a fan base, providing consumer insights, and consumer or professional users insights is all the same. But what you do is you build up a fan base, because you have more and more people wanting to be in the know about your newest products, your new services, launching events, whatever that you're doing, or the information that you're sharing. And because of that, if you would launch that earlier on your company page, more and more people would be talking about, hey, that's the place to go to. That's you. Why don't you follow that too? It's really interesting information that they're sharing. So that's where you get to build a relationship with your existing but also potential customers, and become the go-to place on LinkedIn. And then finally, a reason that we have put there is establishing you and or your colleagues as experts, thought leaders in your field of expertise, because that's what you do by building consistently good content and creating and doing updates on your company page and on your showcase pages. You are establishing yourself as a thought leader, because people will see, hey, that's quality content right there, and we'll take the next step in being, let's say, staying in tune with you, who you are, and what is that you do. Does it mean more work to have a company profile? Because a lot of people, I hear you cite already. No, it is less work than a personal profile. Again, one of the things that is important to know, you need to have it, but it doesn't cost a lot of time to set it up. Now, another good thing about this is that you can plan your updates and share the workload. So, for example, if you say, well, we have 3 divisions in our company, we have 3 products there, one of the things we could do is we can have different updates for these 3, let's say once a week, but not, of course, all on the Monday. You spread it across the whole week. So you can plan these updates and you can share the workload. Rather than you doing every day an update, you can have the other people also doing part of the work with you. Beginning a relationship with interesting prospects is always interesting to see what happens when people start building a following on LinkedIn. And you have those people who don't have a company page and they're thinking, well, LinkedIn is not working for me. And then you have those who build relationships with their interesting prospects. And again, I'll be showing some examples with you in a minute. But one of the things that I see is that once you start engaging and you start doing targeted updates, you build that relationship pretty fast, because it starts with just a first article. Then people are like, oh, that's the second good one and third one in a row. And so that's where people become, let's say, getting to the habit of following your interesting content. And that's where they start asking questions, they start sharing it, they start commenting on it, and so on and so on. One thing leads to another. People will opt in to receive your information and making sure that they welcome your information, because what you see often is that some people are not ready to buy yet, or let's say the know, like, and trust is not high enough for you straight away. So they want to opt in and see, if you're the real deal, and just over time, over 4 weeks, 6 weeks, a month, 3 months time, you'd be able to build a relationship with them because they're interested in your content and they welcome your information. So the more you can fine-tune it to your target audience, the more you can make sure that it is of value, and regardless of what you do, always add value with the content you push out there. It is important to see that how people will react to that, and they start sharing. And if you look at it from the sales perspective, you will see that you will eliminate cold calling, and you don't have to stop. You have to stop paying for certain lead sources because people will be attracted to you. They will be coming towards you, and again. It is interesting to say that within our own company we get on average between 1,500 and 1,800 leads coming in every month. Last month we had even over 2,000. So long story short, again, it's up to you what you will be practicing and what you will be applying of all this. And remember that with Really Connect, we can help you with taking those steps and sharing our knowledge about how we've done this not only for ourselves but also with numerous other people and other clients, and we have a number of case studies as well. So it's really important to start seeing that you need to have a company profile. It doesn't take a while to really build it. So one of the things that I'm going to share with you first is an example, and one of the examples that I've prepared for you is Deloitte. Now, I shouldn't be introducing who they are. I guess everyone has heard at least about who they are. They're one of the big 4 consultancy companies. And so as you can see here, right on their company page, so if you type in Deloitte in this search engine on the top of your LinkedIn pages and you choose then companies, then you will you'll see that this is the first one in the search, and it will bring you to this page. So once you get to this page, you see that the first thing they do is they thank their followers for making them part of their network. How cool is that? You're already being thanked for. And then again, not everyone is doing this, but it's a first welcome. Of course, on the company page, it is a bit of explanation about who they are, what they're doing, what the next next steps could be. Going to their website globally, where they are based, what industry they are, in case you didn't know them yet. And then you come to their updates. And as you can see, the last update was 22 hours ago. And the one before that was 1 day ago. The one before that was another day, again yesterday, 3 days ago. You see, they get into the rhythm. They get into the rhythm of seeing that they're doing regular updates. And again, maybe for your company, it might be too much to find content every day or every couple of days. But I would say to start with would be a good rhythm to start at least with once a week with added value. Now, not only does this added value content need to be published by you, it can also be coming from an external source. As you can see, the last one here is coming from dupress.com, which is a different website than their own. So you see, it doesn't have to be always your content that you'll be mentioning on your company page. In fact, if you have a client who is, let's say, being referring to you or shouting from the roofs how cool you guys are and what the results that you made for them, then that could be a nice company update as well. As you can see, as we go through, they have like on average at least every day an update. Of course, with so many people, about 175,000 people on LinkedIn, is important. Of course, they have something going on every day somewhere in the world. Okay. So again, what else do you see here? You see how you're connected. You see here a number of people I'm connected with in the first degree. 24, 5,555 in my second degree, and 175,000 nearly of their employees are on LinkedIn. So if you want to know who they are, what you can do is you can hover over it and you can click on it, and it will launch a search. Let's say a search with who those people are, and then you can dive in and you can dig in step by step. As you can see here on the top, you will see they have more than 1,100,000 followers. And again, I'm also one of these followers. So normally you would have here a yellow button If you want to know, if you want to follow them, just click this one, and then it becomes in that gray one that you'll see right here. And it will, it is interesting to see that this button is as easy as it gets to start following to start following a company. Now, if you want to know who these people are, one of the things that you will see is that that you can click on it, and then LinkedIn will give you who those followers are. Now, you see the first ones are people from Deloitte themselves, but the next one is here, J.C. Lessica, San Francisco area, might be out of our area for the moment, but what if I were at Deloitte in San Francisco, what I would do is I would send him a message saying, hey, thank you, JD, for following our company. Were you looking for something in particular, or how may we help you? Because that's one of the things that a lot of people underestimate, is that people who follow your company, they are basically interested in who you are and what you do. So if you are reaching out to them, that might be the tipping point for them to have a meeting, have a sales meeting, or if you're in recruiting, to have that recruiting conversation with them. And again, these are the people who are just sitting there, 1,140,000 in the meantime. See, so it goes fast when you see how fast that LinkedIn, Deloitte is building their following. By the way, do we have any questions at this point in time? Because I can go on for hours and hours. Not
at the moment, but if anyone does have any questions about setting up their company page, do post them. Love to hear from people.
Okay, cool. So let's say that's the basic part with your company pages, and one of the things that you will see is that, of course, they try to promote their careers. They have about 2,000 jobs posted, and then you see something interesting happening right here. Affiliated company pages. Affiliated company pages, that means that these are the regional Deloitte let's say companies in different regions. So you will see that if I would be in Deloitte Brazil, or let's take Spain for example, or Deloitte UK, if I'd be following the global company page, I'll get all kinds of updates about what's going on the global level, but I'm also interested in what's going on in Deloitte UK version. And so when I follow that page, Deloitte UK, I can see, and let me open that in the new tab, you'll see that there's about 4,000 people on there, and I get a whole new page, but I also get the updates that they are doing. So that's why it is interesting to follow local updates as well. If I'm only interested in Deloitte UK, then I would follow Deloitte UK rather than the global company. And again, they already have about 16,000 followers, or nearly 16,000 followers already. And you see here the yellow button I was talking about to click on follow. All right. So that's what you see on the company page, affiliated companies. People also view. So these are companies that are also that people also had a look at, and of course, to no surprise, all the big four companies are there. Okay. So that's the standard company page. Now, if you have a premium company page or paid for, you can get here careers page. Now again, these are paid for pages, and so in Deloitte's case, they have like a golden career page because they have a big banner here. They have an overview about careers at Deloitte, a little bit about a movie about why to work with them. Links to other websites. See here the other social media: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Ask them a question. Take a look around the offices. Virtual tours. What are other people who are working there saying about LinkedIn? And you will see updates are coming here again. And then on the right-hand side, you see the current job openings that they have available. And it's as easy as just clicking on it. So for example, if I take the first one here, let me open it in a new window again, and what you'll see is I go to the job, and then one of the things I can do is I can apply on the company website, redirect it there, and you see there's already 46 applicants before me, and now I can drill down who they are, what this is about the company, again some video and so on. So this is really a really cool job opening, where I can start getting in touch. When people also viewed other job openings, and you see most of them were also at Deloitte, and so you can have send feedback here, or I can even share this job. So if you're a colleague, your colleagues are looking at this, then they might share this or tweet about this. All right, so that's interesting to see as well, how the company page leads into career page and leads into a job opening that you have on the site. Right? I hope that's useful for all of you. And again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask us. Then I would go on to the next part. And the next part is how to share. A team that is willing to share is one that is confident they know what to share, when, and why. So when I look at HR, when I look at marketing, I would say, well, you guys are in the driver's seat here because you are in the right position to facilitate to your team about what it is that your team can share, when and why they should be sharing it. Now the why is very easy. The why is very easy. Why? Because, well, people are already busy. They are looking for, let's say, additional customers, and LinkedIn is a good way to find new customers. Or if it's from an HR point of view, they're already very busy, and they would love to have that extra colleague there, so that he or she would take some off of the burden that they already are carrying. So that's why it is easy for them to facilitate, or let's say easy for you to facilitate them to start sharing online. Now, if we look at just the company page rather than just the job openings, then you will see that you have to come up with good content, what is worthwhile of sharing. Now, before you start looking into what is worth sharing, you need to have clear brand guides, brand guidelines. Okay, what is allowed to communicate, who's allowed to communicate about the brand, in what form or shape that will look like. Is it in line with our social media policy? Yes, no. Do we have a social media policy? If you don't, ask around. If you do, have you read it? Are you complying with it? Etc., etc. And then, of course, a very important part is a content sharing plan, because one of the things that we will see is that once you start doing a company update, that some of your colleagues start doing that as, let's say, replicating that update also as personal status update. Now, if they do that as a personal status update, and let's say with 4,000 people, like in Deloitte's case, it's not a good, not a good practice to start retweeting or reposting that same message all at once. So that's where the content sharing plan comes into play. That's where you need, and that's where we would really connect, would play, and would come in and help you with setting up a set of content plan, so that there are hopping patterns about who's sharing which content at what time, what day of the week, etc., etc. But also what type of content coming from marketing, coming from sales, coming from HR, who's how to set up those content streams, who's being responsible for what part, etc., etc. You need to have a content sharing plan, especially when you want to roll it out throughout your whole organization. And that's a pitfall that I see a lot of people make. They set up a company profile, but the last update was 3 months or 6 months ago. What does that tell you about that organization? How up to speed are they? Oh, they're not even updating their LinkedIn profile, so they're they're not so cool anymore. And you see people physically being drained because of that.
They're looking disappointed because they've not got what they thought, and the company's not as active as they thought. But would you agree that the normal reason that a company might get started and stop is because it does take a habit, it's a new way of doing things, and they have to have more of a plan around it. And if they haven't got a well thought through plan and that dictates what they're going to do when for a long period of time, it can easily go by the by when they get a bit busy with something else and get forgotten about.
Yeah, exactly, and that's when you end up with the bad first impression when people come to your company profile and they see that the last update was 6 months ago. That's not impressive. That's where everything stops. Yeah. And then people say, well, LinkedIn doesn't work. Hello. That's not fair to say.
And one of the things you were saying to me earlier as well was that people think, oh, putting a content strategy together and doing this is a lot of work, but then not having one, the benefits of having one outweigh the not having one. And actually, it doesn't take that much time, because if you split the workload across all the different departments, not only are you getting an audience to talk to from all the departments, but everyone's contributing something, and it could be that one person write one article per year, or less. So it's easy.
So if you have a team of 50 people and everyone would write one article a year, you have one for every week.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that. It's the divide and working together with with the people involved in your team. And even if you only have a team of 5 people, then if they do once a month, that's also enough to get to once every week an update, which is for fairly enough for a lot of companies, more than enough to start updating and to start being in touch and building that relationship. But again, like you said, most companies don't have a well thought through strategy, and that's where things start to crack and it's going nowhere.
And it's also what you do after you've shared it as well, because if you're just putting it out there, not doing anything, you need to know why you're doing it, what you're doing after as well. And that
start
really
with your goal in mind. Start with your goal in mind, and that's where we see that a lot of our clients that we talk to, how do we start with this? They have no idea how to start, and that's where Naomi or someone else of our team comes in to have that conversation about what do you want to achieve, when will it be successful, when we have 1,000 followers in 6 months, or when we have 3 appointments in 3 months, or when etc. etc. And then we start working with those goals and see what content would be required to. And guess what? Most companies already have the content. They're already sitting on the content. They might not have they might not have it in the right format, or they even have it in the right format, but they're not using it. And that's such a waste. And that's what I feel like. It only takes 2 seconds or 2 minutes extra to take LinkedIn in the loop with the content that's being generated, just as it is with let's say that you do with your website or all of your other communication platforms.
And the content is really the reason why somebody would follow you, because it's adding value to the marketplace and saying thank you for coordinating all of this.
Exactly.
Like I might go and buy a magazine on a particular subject, and that's somebody coordinating all the subjects, or I actually could come and follow your company, and there's all the stuff on that subject I need. So it's adding value to me and gives me a reason to follow.
Exactly. All right. So the next point is who should manage this, and that's where you see there's a lot of things going on. There are different views. For example, we look at Siemens and Sodexo, are 2 companies. They work with a centralized version. So if I go back to LinkedIn and I type in Siemens, they have. I should have typed in companies. Right? They have just one global company page, and they don't have affiliated companies. They do, but they look at industries and not at regions. All right, so that's where you see that they have a different structure. What I find is that this is not the best structure if you want to communicate on a local basis, and if some products are not available in some or in other markets, and then it becomes confusing. Language can become a very big barrier, although that a lot of people are using English as their main language also on LinkedIn. It is still that most people who are non-native English want to have the content in their language. So that's why it is important to make sure that it is available. So that's the centralized approach, and the local one is the one that I showed you with Deloitte. That's per country, per region, which is much more of our preference as well. Now, if you look at global management, you can say, well, we work with affiliated companies like the Deloitte example that I just gave you, because there's language issue, you have product offers that you don't have in other countries, you have job offers. Remember that Deloitte has like 2,000 job openings. Would you be willing to start reading in those 2,000 while you know that you'll be looking in the region of Manchester or the region of central London? Then why would you waste your time with 1,800 other job openings, right? Local promotions. If you do a local promotion just for the UK only, then you can do that in your affiliated company for the UK only. Local events. Maybe you start a new product, new service, you test drive it, or you have a preview or a VIP event, perfect on your affiliated company, not necessarily on the global company. And again, you build a following, and get in touch with your local prospects much more easily with the affiliated companies. How do you manage? Who does manage? Well, traditionally, it is either HR, it is sales, or is marketing, depending on who was first and who was the first to claim the company page. And that's where you see that some of the company pages today, another client the other day, ING in the bank in Belgium, and it was clearly that their company profile was HR driven. So let me show you how do we know this. Well, if you go to ING Belgium, you will see that it is all about the HR recruitment part, right? And not so much about which products and services that that they have to offer. Of course, the products and services are now gone, but these updates used to be only, as you can see here now, in Dutch, and they're in French the same update. It used to be just job updates, and now they, after our sessions, they started to bring other content in there to create more about customers and just commercial products, and not just the jobs that they're posting. Right, so that's where you would see that it is interesting to see where they're coming from. But back to the slides and explaining that most people coming from either HR, sales, or marketing, and we believe that the mix of these three is the only answer to manage this from a global point of view, but also from a local. So if you say UK or France or Germany based, you should have these three. Why? Because these are the three most, say, external focused organizations, and they have the most to contribute to the status updates and the information that we share. And again, if you would need more help, with that, just know that we can help them, and Naomi or any one of our teams will be willing to help you with that. Just also click on or go to the link reallyconnect.com/next to see what the next steps could look like, and what how we can help you any further. So Naomi, are there any extra questions? Any other things that people on this call want to know?
Well, they've all been very quiet. I'm sure they must have lots of questions before we answer them all.
All right.
So yeah, just to reaffirm what Butch said there, there are lots of reasons to have a company page, whether you're a big company or a small company. Getting that set up correctly, getting right focus from it, and the content sharing with that as well, and putting a strategy together, that is something we very much can help you with. And we'd love just to have a quick conversation with you to see if that is something that is appropriate for us to help you with. So do go to that URL there, reallyconnect.com/next, and you'll see a little overview of how we can help you. Just fill in the form, press enter, and I will give you a call in the next week or so and follow up, and we'll have a quick chat and just see what we can be doing to help you, or what other resources might be the best place to point you to. But really get you started using that and doing it well. Because one of the things that does happen is we all have the greatest of intentions, but we end up not doing it. And the worst thing to do would be to get started, put something out there, not continue with it, leave something unfinished on our brand, and then in a year's time look back and think about all the things we could have done, but we didn't do. And that's why this is really the key time to get on this now, because everybody is getting on it, and you want to stay competitive, and definitely not put a negative sort of brand out there. And really, when you do this correctly, there is no extra work to it, because it actually speeds up your results. You get better leads, better people to recruit. The benefits far outweigh the time you have to introduce early on. So do go and fill that form in, reallyconnect.com/next, and we'll be in touch shortly.
All right. I see just a question arriving, Naomi. What happened with the products and services? Well, that's a good question there to ask. What happened to the products and services? LinkedIn decided to stop the products and services as such, and what you have, let's say, replacing today are the product and are the showcase pages. So let me go to Microsoft as an example. I had this as a backup anyway, waiting here for you. So this is the Microsoft company page, and as you can see, 1.6 million followers, and so there are no more products and services on this page anymore, and so LinkedIn dropped that a couple of weeks ago. So if you do have any recommendations that people had on your company page, just send a message to LinkedIn's help desk. They would be happy to provide you with a copy of those recommendations, so that you can have them on file and you can continue to use them even on other platforms. So coming back to this Microsoft company page, so where do they promote then their products and services? Well, if you scroll down a little bit with me and see here Microsoft Showcase pages, you will see here that they have Office, Microsoft Dynamics, Microsoft Link, and a couple of others. So if I open up the Microsoft Office one, you'll see that this is a brand new style, or let's say a different style, just about Office, Office 365, personal, the Office you love, on devices you love, right? So what this does here is like a mini company page, a little bit of background about this product to see who the followers are, and you can start following what they are doing, and you see 5 days ago, 7 days ago. It's not as every day, 8 days, 12 days. So it is building a following just for Microsoft Office. So why would you do that? Well, if I take myself as an example, I'm a premium example for them because I'm a Mac user. I'm using an Apple MacBook Pro, and so I'm not interested in the Windows updates. So if I start following this page, so the Microsoft overall page, then I get all kinds of updates, not just about Office, but also about their Windows operating system, about Windows Mobile, about their mobile phones, about their service software, about Microsoft Dynamics, which is their CRM, about Link, which is their communication tools, etc., 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 which is none of my interest except for the Microsoft Office. So that's another reason why we would set up a showcase page where you would build up a following, as you can see here, about 14,000 followers, just for people who are interested in the Office product pages. So it is very easy to set up a page for a different service or a different product or even different brand within your organization. So if you have a multi-brand company in your page, then one of the things that you would do is you would make sure that that you let's say broadcast those brands and that people can start following your brand. If they're in love with that brand, doesn't mean that they're interested in all of your brands, and vice versa. So make sure that you have those showcase pages available for the relevant target audiences. I hope that answers the question.
Yep.
Anything else? No?
Nope. We are done. Thank you very much for joining us today, but I know your schedule is very busy. You've already done one talk this morning for 2.5 hours, got another one this afternoon. This is your lunch break.
This is my lunch break.
We are very honoured to have you here with us today. Bet is our expert trainer who knows just about everything there is to know about LinkedIn, so we are blessed to have him. And do be in touch with us if you want to have a chat about your company page and what we could be helping you with on that. Or if you've just got any other kind of quick questions as well, I'd love to have a chance to chat with you. Our URL is reallyconnect.com/next for filling in the form and just letting us know you want to be in touch. Do go back to our page, reallyconnect.com/webinars. That's all the webinars are that we've already done this series, so do check that out. And we've got one more in a week's time. Which will be very exciting because it's about how to marry all the different things you're doing in sales and marketing and recruitment together. So brilliant. Okay, well thank you for being with us, Bert.
Most welcome.
Let you have a bit of a break before you have to go on.
Enjoy everyone and to your success, and bye-bye for now.